My name is Onrie'S. You've seen me sell comics. I want to buy this comic.
Too bad, because that comic sucks!
You're watching Onrie'S Comic Mukbang Reviews. Prepare to get banged. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to episode 6 of Onrie'S Comic Mukbang Reviews. I'm your host, Onrie'S. It is great to be here with you guys. I'm coming to you live from Denver, Colorado, or just like outside. Technically, we're in Thornton, Colorado right now. And I have read all of this week's comics. Let's get ready to get banged by comics. What's up, Jay? How you doing, brother? So I just got back from setting up for Fan Expo Denver, which starts tomorrow. And today has just been a really hellish day for me. Oh, my God. So I've been catching myself in lots of errors. Those of you who are on my newsletter, I made a confession this week. The latest reprint for the 9th issue of Eastern Shin has a misprint in it. The wrong page is inserted in one of the spreads on all 2,000 copies of the book that I had printed up. So there's no fixing it or correcting it. Good news is I'm going to hook up every buyer who picks up the book with digital copies. I'll be working on that next week. So all of you guys are going to have access to it. It's an unfortunate error, but it's on me. You know, I was the one who approved it. And, I'm working with the printer right now to make sure we don't have this mistake again. But the good news, too, is the one thing I've noticed from being a dealer all these years is that misprints tend to have like a collectability because of their rarity, and there's only 2,000 copies of this 9th issue, which is in the grand scheme of things a very small amount of books. So who knows, that could be a collector's item one day. So if you can get your hands on one, feel free to jump on it. But that was one error I was dealing with. But the second error, which was a major one that I caught yesterday by luck, was I sent a shipment out because next week is Phoenix Fan Fusion. So I'm getting on I'm on a circuit of 3 conventions right now. Last weekend I was in Oklahoma. What's up, Ron? How you doing? So I just got back from Oklahoma on Monday, and then today, Wednesday, I flew out to Denver, and so that meant yesterday I had to ship out everything for Phoenix, which is next week. And I found out last night as I was looking at my bill of lading for my Phoenix shipment that I actually inserted the address for the Phoenix location into the billing area. So the shipment was headed to Colorado. So the second shipment, the books that are supposed to be going to Arizona, were heading to to Colorado. So 2 shipments going to Colorado now, which is crazy. And now I had to call up the freight company and get this all figured out. So initially when I called them up, they're like, you're going to have to get in touch with our rates department. They just quoted us. It's going to cost $500 to ship everything and fix it. And I'm like, all this over such a small, stupid error. And I was like, $500 is more than what the package cost is. And so I hung up the phone and I called up some friends because luckily a lot of people who are in Colorado this weekend for Fan Expo Denver are also going to Phoenix next weekend. But then I thought about it and I'm like, I don't want to put it on someone else to have to bring all my stuff over there. So I called back, worked at a good old fashioned Company charm, and got on the phone with a very nice lady who managed to get everything worked out for me. She said, just give me a correct bill of lading and I'll push this through, and it's not going to cost you anything. Like we'll make this work. So I don't have confirmation that it's going to actually work yet, but hopefully we'll get an answer. And so I've had the stress of that. And then of course there's the stress of setting up for the show because there's no pipe and drape behind our booth. And so that's a little stressful, like making sure everything like that is taken care of before the show starts. So I got to get up super early tomorrow and get everything together. And it's just all this roller coasters. It's just really worn me out. So, but I do have a ton of comics that I have read, and this is all this week's releases. This morning I had a chance to run over to the comic shop and get everything bagged and boarded. Had a 2.5-hour flight and was able to read through every single book that came out this week. So we're going to review them right now because, that's what I do. That's what we do here on the Mukbang Reviews. We grab these big stack of books here and we review them. That's what it's all about. So first book of the week is Absolute Wonder Woman number 20. Now, all you guys got a big boner about this book. You're all like, oh my God, it's so good. Oh my God, shut up. I don't like this book. No, I'm just kidding. I like this book. This issue in particular is actually really good. And I have to say that there's a really good layout in here that really captured my attention and inspired me. And I really liked it. Let's start with the cover, though. The cover is really great. This is an eye-catching cover. And so, for all the things I will say, this is not my favorite Absolute title, but it is quality work. So, and I read all the Absolute books because all the Absolute books so far have been great. Kelly Thompson is the writer on this, and she's continuing her story with Zatanna. There's, again, some really awesome layouts in this issue. Definitely worth picking up just for the art in itself. The writing's pretty good, too. They're building up to some cool stuff. And it ends on quite a cliffhanger. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys, but this is one of those cases where I would say I'm actually looking forward to the next issue. So, I would say this book this week, I was surprised. I'm going to say this is a 3.5 out of 5. And if I had to sum this up in a few words, I would just say, an Absolute Wonder Woman number 20, we realized that gods suck. Okay? The gods are a bunch of assholes. All right, especially the Greek ones. God, they are such assholes, especially in the Absolute universe. Everybody's an absolute jackass in the Absolute universe. There is no one who is nice except maybe for Superman. That's it. Everybody else is a jackass in the Absolute universe, especially Batman. He's like the biggest asshole, especially the way he talks to Alfred. All right, next book we got here is The Sentry. Now, if Absolute Wonder Woman 20 gets you to think that, gods are absolute assholes, Cancer is an absolute asshole. And, this issue's a tearjerker, man. This really pulled at my heartstrings in a really tough way. So the Sentry has a dog that gets cancer, and, he's spending the first couple issues, having to say goodbye to his dog. Well, he doesn't have money in the Absolute universe. Absolute Batman's broke as shit. So he's a broke asshole. Like, he's got nothing going for him here, right? There is no excuse for him he's an absolute prick is what he is. So Sentry, like I said, this book really pulled at my heartstrings. It's written by Paul Jenkins, who's the co-creator of the character. And so what's going on here is the Sentry and the Void are the same person. Those of you guys who don't know, the hero and the villain are trapped in the same body. But this isn't so much about the hero and the villain at war with each other. It's more about what does the Sentry do when crisis hits his life? Like when something really bad happens to him, how does he handle it? How does the Void handle it? And here we deal with the loss of an animal, and particularly a dog. And, being a pet owner myself, a dog owner, this really pulled at my heartstrings. This is a really great series, and it ends in issue 4. But Jenkins really has mastered his character. He really understands who the Sentry is. There's no one, I think, more qualified to write this series than him. The artwork is done by Christian Rosado, and Christian's style kind of feels like, what's his name? Alex Maleev a little bit. It's very like gritty, heavy on the inks, but it works really well. And what I really like about this issue is while the Sentry is losing his dog, there's absolute madness happening, and everybody needs a Sentry because he's the only person who can, stop this horrible thing that's about to happen. and he's in a moment of crisis. And all these heroes are like, it doesn't matter, get him out of here, we need a soldier out of here, and it's like you really feel for him. And I'm really interested to see where this ends. This has been a really surprising series that has really just resonated with me personally. And if you're an animal lover, and if you are just, someone who's interested in the psyche of a character, this one really explores it without going into black and white. It's like we're seeing a much deeper side of the Sentry and the Void, because they're both experiencing loss here. The Void is experiencing the loss just as much as the Sentry is of this dog. They both are connected to this animal. So it's like, how do they handle this? Do they come together? Do they come apart? This is what Jenkins is exploring, and I think it's great. He's really leveled this character up. So highly recommend this. The Sentry has been a really good read. It's an off the wall character, so like it's not like this is Marvel's version of Superman. No, the Sentry is a lot deeper and more complex. Which one? What did I inspire you on? Absolute Jackass, the fury, the fuckery begins. Ron, it was really nice meeting you in Oklahoma City, dude. You're awesome. All right, the next one, The Ultimates, number 24. So in this issue, we revisit the Hulk, who is I think he's like how Iron Fist is the immortal Iron Fist. Well, he's like the immortal Hulk, but he's not the immortal Hulk that we know from Al Ewing's run. He's, he's like the master martial artist in the Hulk's body, and he finally gets confronted by all the Marvel Ultimate versions of the Iron Fist and Shang-Chi and all those guys. So there's a big brawl here, and Hulk is kind of taken down, and She-Hulk is involved in it too, and a whole bunch of stuff. But honestly, man, there is so much hype around Dennis Camp. Between this and Absolute Martian Manhunter, which I still have no idea what the fuck that book is about. I have absolutely no idea what the fuck that book. 11 issues in, I have no idea what it's about. And everybody's like, it's so brilliant. Shut the fuck up. It's not fucking brilliant. I don't understand what the fuck it's about. It's a fucking enigma is what it is. It's like, I don't understand it. But this series is like, it started out so strong, and I will say this, Dennis Camp is a great writer, but this series here just feels like it needs to be brought out back behind the barn and put out of its misery. Like, seriously, this, like, what the fuck? You're ending the Ultimate Universe? Just end it already. And this is the last issue of the series, by the way. If you're going to go out on an issue, this is not the way to go on it. If this is your final issue of the comic, this is not how to do it. I'm really disappointed. This was just like, and it's not that it's like a poorly illustrated book. Like, look, let's look at the artwork here. The artwork here is phenomenal. Okay. That's not my problem. My problem is that there's no direction that satisfactory that brings this to a close in a satisfactory manner. Like these characters just like the story just kind of, it'll continue in Ultimate Endgame. Well, what if I'm not fucking reading Ultimate Endgame? Fuck you. Like, That's kind of the problem. It's like you have to be reading all these other books. Marvel started out really knocking it out of the park when they brought back the Ultimate line. But unlike DC with the Absolute line, they just didn't have the vision to really let this blossom. They were like, we'll just, be in awe of Jonathan Hickman. And then as soon as Jonathan Hickman leaves, they are like, this is boring. Like, let's like you can feel it, and even, and that's why they decided to end it, but they're like ending it. So it's like, it's the most agonizing and slow death for a universe I've ever seen. Just fucking kill all these characters already. And a lot of them are just like retconned in the stupidest ways. Like Hulk doesn't need to be a martial artist. He's the fucking Hulk. His strength comes from his rage. Like martial artists are like focused and, like they use their chi and stuff. Like this is fucking my ass. All right. Like fuck this. Sorry. There have been good issues in this series. I'm such an asshole tonight. It's been a long day. Okay. This is just so you guys don't pay attention to the misprint in Yisun number 9, okay? I'm just going off on these writers, and he's not me Hulk, me Smash. He's like Master Hulk, Master Smash, which it just doesn't fit. The first time the Hulk like kicked their asses and everything was kind of cool, and you were kind of hoping that they would. And the problem with this series too is like every single issue focuses on something different, and there's never a point where it's like it never has a true focal point. It's just like this issue we're going to focus on Thor, and then the next issue we're going to focus on Captain America, and then the next issue we're going to focus on Iron Man, and then the next issue we're going to focus on Doctor Doom, and nothing ever feels like it's part of a bigger story. Like I don't care for this. This is like one of those character soup books. I'll give this a 2 out of 5, honestly. And I didn't rate the other books yet. So Sentry, I'm giving a 4 out of 5 for. 4 out of 5. And then Absolute Wonder Woman will do 3.5 out of 5. All right. Now, next book is actually really fascinating, and it really resonated with me in a really deep way. Swamp Thing, 1982, which is Swamp Thing number 89. And what they did here is they continued Rick Veitch's run, which was a very controversial storyline that was about the Bible. It started out being about the Bible, and it's got a lot of religious undertones to it. So DC originally didn't want to publish it because of all the religious undertones in the book. But after 37 years, they were like, let's bring this to life because times are different, and people want to see this book, and let's give it to them. And they've done such a great job of bringing this book back and printing it on the same newsprint that they used to print these books on, putting the same ads in the back. But let's forget all that, because there's the story itself, which is really awesome. John Constantine shows up in this issue. I'm not going to really go into the details of this other than to say that Swamp Thing is trapped in time, and he's just kind of floating through different periods of history and connecting with different religious figures and things like that. And it's really awesome. And meanwhile, his wife is about to give birth to their, weird, demon child or whatever. I'm going to check the comments here real quick. Let's see. These are rage views. Yes, I am definitely there. There's definitely some rage viewing going on. What's up, Roberto? Well, yeah, nice rage bait and switch. Thank you, Jay. Master Smash, Master Bait too. Don't forget to do that. That's how Immortal Hulk calms himself down and focuses. He masturbates, and then he can become the Master Hulk again. Yes, exactly. The rage reviews. There's plenty of more rage reviewing, but this one's actually a deeper review. I heard Hickman got accused of plagiarism with the Krakoa era. Supposedly he got it from a video game. Who the fuck cares? Honestly, give me a good fucking X-Men book that's not like got a bunch of stupid fucking mutants in it. Fuck that book. Fuck both those X-Men books. There you go. Am I wrong? Seriously, is anybody going to come to like aid the X-Men in this argument? I like X-Men. Please give me more X-Men. Give me more Age of Apocalypse. Like, shove it up my ass, please. Like, come on, spare me. Those books have, but like, I avoid X-Men. I fell into the X-Men trap, and before I knew it, there's like an X-Men book coming out every 2 weeks, all the time. And I will say the regular X-Men series has actually been the best X-Men that I've read in a while. But like, it's just like that Ultimates book. It's just there's too many characters, and I don't care about them or their stupid mutant powers. Just focus on a core team, and that's it. That's it. Like, I don't care about anything else. Like, Jesus. All right. And as far as plagiarism goes, everything's plagiarized. All right. Is that a soft cover? I have a bill to make that a hard cover. That's great, Ron. I love that. I got the first Swamp Thing in the mall, snail mail, way back before they had Amazon. Okay, yeah. So let's get back to Swamp Thing, because again, this book really kind of pulled at my heartstrings a bit. And it wasn't just the actual story; it was actually the backup content that they wrote here, where the creators actually talked about what it was like to come back to this work after 37 years and draw it. So Tom Mandrake, who illustrated this, was really worried about coming back to this because Mike Beach died, and he had the story and he had all the layouts and he had everything done, but no one wanted to go back and do this because DC said that they weren't going to publish it, and sorry, it was Michael Zulli, and Vince Locke, he wrote a piece too about what it was like working with Michael, and this kind of stuff really shows commitment and legacy to what these creators have done after so many years of them being gone. It's nice to see that they're remembered and that there are people who are like still clamoring for this content, and the fact that DC allowed this to happen and that they put it together in such a pristine way. Like, again, like I said, they even add the ads in there, and I wonder if that cost them anything to put the ads in there, because they put like ads for their old books in here, like this stuff. And I just really appreciate the work that's being done here. This is a 6-part series. I highly recommend this. This is a 4.5 out of 5. Especially if you're a Swamp Thing fan, you're not going to want to miss this. This is good stuff here, and it's controversial, but I think it's definitely worth checking out and picking up. And B, when he grows up, I'm reading the comments right now. Somehow the way he said it sounded like he wanted to be a masturbator. See, that's it. Being a masturbator that's what it's all about. Oh, master builder. Okay, all right. Well, I'm glad I met your. You can tell your grandson. I'm also a big, masturbator. Tom. The Swamp Thing was drawn by Tom Mandrake. So Tom Mandrake did a lot of stuff on Spectre, and he illustrated this issue. So check it out. It's good stuff. It just came out this week. Next book, I wasn't planning on getting this. I was actually planning on dropping this series, Justice League Unlimited, because I'm already like getting tired of this. This is another one of those character soup books where there's just too many characters and I don't give a fuck about any of them. However, there's an overall plot line here that's actually working pretty well. So the villains of the DCU have been granted amnesty because of everything that happened during DCKO and We Are Yesterday. So now the DC villains are kind of like redeemed, so to speak, and now they're kind of like taking the lead on things, and they're still kind of showing their villainous ways, even though they're technically the good guys. And the artwork in this book is phenomenal because it's Dan Mora, and you can never go wrong with Dan Mora on a book. I absolutely love Dan Mora. This was not one of the books I advertised or planned on reviewing today, but you ever get one of those impulse buys at the comic shop? You're there and you see the cover, and the cover is pretty good, and I'm like, this is a good cover. I opened it up, I looked inside, I'm like, it's pretty fucking good. All right, cool. I'll give this a shot. What the hell? I'm already in for a penny, in for a pound. So I picked this up. I'll give this a 3.5 out of 5. This is good stuff. But again, like with any massive team book, X-Men, Justice League, Ultimates, Avengers, you run into this thing about having too many characters to follow, and it's really hard to pay attention to an overall story. But here, I think Mark Waid has done a good job of kind of focusing on the main story here. So this is actually better than most. So I like this. This was good. Oh, that's interesting. They might do that eventually. That would be cool if they do that. So Leonard's talking about the Swamp Thing, where DC does these alternate endings. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, and look, I like team books when it's like a core team book. There's nothing wrong with it. And Justice League Unlimited has been a good book overall. It's been a good series. I'm 19 issues in. But there have been some issues where I'm like, oh, there's Plastic Man and Jesse Quick and blah, blah, blah. And I don't care about any of these characters because they're they just pop up. You know, they're not really like developed, and there's a lot of tie-ins and a lot of this stuff, and it's like I just, you know, it becomes overwhelming. All right, next book we got here is Doom Quest #1. So I was kind of expecting this to be continuity and hoping that this would kind of explain what happened to Doom after he died. Is Doom coming back? Like, what's going on here? But actually, this seems to be its own storyline. The artwork is fantastic. I really like the artwork in here. It's written by Ryan North, who's absolutely crushing it on Fantastic Four right now. Story-wise, it's okay. You know, like, I've read a lot of Doctor Doom books. I've got a lot of Doctor Doom stuff. You know, Doom is jealous and wants to, you know, showcase the greatness of Latveria. So he creates a time machine that allows him to go back in time and change things. And then all of a sudden, all the Marvel heroes are like coming in to attack him. And so he gets a whole army of Doombots to go in and like fight them and stuff. And then they end up like fighting, and it's like, and then Doom like gets his time machine working, but it shoots him back in time, and he doesn't go where he wants to go. And so now I think that's where the story is starting. So I think we're going to look back on this series and realize it's really awesome. I could see this being a series that like really grows in value. So highly recommend checking this out. It was not a bad first issue, but like with every first issue, it's a tough first issue. So you kind of have to like if you've never read a Doom book before, this is a great jump on point to kind of like understand who this character is. But if you have read Doom books before, this kind of feels a little more like setup than actual progress of the story. Sort of like that Spider-Man Brand New Day book. Brand new day, brand new day, brand new fucking day, you know? So it's like, it's kind of like that. But it was good. Give it a 3.5 out of 5. I like the artwork. I like Ryan North. I have faith the next issue is going to be better. So let's see what's up. Isn't that the one of the draws of comic books, the fact that there's always a reset button? Yeah, absolutely. Like, look, you know, one of the things I always say, Ron, even though I have my rage reviews and I say the things I do, I will never say you should not pick up a book. I definitely encourage you to buy books, especially if I don't like it. If I don't like it, read it. Tell me why you liked it. I want to know. Maybe it'll give me a different perspective on these books. You know, like, I'm not trying to go out here and hate stuff. I actually really liked a lot of the books that came out this week. As I was reading them, they really pulled at the heartstrings, like especially that Swamp Thing. The Swamp Thing really resonated with me. The Sentry really resonated with me. Absolute Wonder Woman wasn't bad. You know, there's some good books that came out this week. Wonder Man, not Wonder Woman, Wonder Man with the capital M, was good. I like this book a lot. This is the third issue now. Wonder Man is investigating the murder of his friend. He's working with Patsy Walker, and he's trying to protect his friend, who's a famous voice actor. And he gets into a big bout with the Spot. The Spot shows up in the previous issue, and he is in this issue too. And so Wonder Man and the Spot, they like get into a real brawl here. And honestly, I don't think the Spot stands a chance against Wonder Man, and he kind of knows it. It's like, it's different than the Spot fighting Spider-Man, particularly Miles Morales. This is interesting. So I definitely like this. The artwork is really good. I dig this series a lot so far. I don't know how many issues it's going to be, but I would kind of say it kind of has, like, if you're liking what DC's doing with their second line of books, like with Deathstroke, Lobo, and Firestorm, I think you're going to feel very much at home with Wonder Man. It's good, especially if you like the TV show, which has been great. So highly recommend this. This is a lot of fun. Wonder Man #3 came out this week. Really good book. Awesome. We'll give this a 3.5 out of 5. It's an above average book. Oh wow, he so Nauman got Sunil Kim on and we're able to interview him. That's awesome. I have to check out his channel. I just haven't had a chance. I've been like everywhere. I haven't read the Miles Morales series, the latest one. I have a lot of the issues. I just haven't really jumped into it. Okay, this week was a big release week because Jim Marie, finally got Batman 163 out there into the world. He's been working on this for a while. He recently announced that he's been dealing with some health issues, and so that held him up. This is why it's taken him so long to get this book out. Artwork-wise, this is a pretty decent book, but writing-wise, oh God, this is a snooze fest. I'm going to read you guys a line. Tell me if you've ever heard these lines in a Batman book before. If you haven't, you need to say something right now, okay? Jay, I'm looking at you, okay? Listen very attentively. If someone else is talking in the background, you tell them to shut the fuck up, okay? You need to listen very carefully to the lines that are about to come out of my mouth, okay? Shh. Shut the fuck up. Okay, all right. I had trained, but it was not enough. I needed something more. I needed them to fear me. Suddenly, a winged creature crashed through the window. Horrifying. I had my answer. I would become a bat. In the book, in the Batman book, you know. Because like we don't know how Batman has become Batman at this point. We need this reiterated again. And honestly, Jim Lee's artwork shines here, but the writing, it's just like it's so uninspired. It's phoned in, okay? And I like Jeff Loeb, but this is phoned in writing. I feel like if they were going to come back together and they were going to do another Hush book or another book together, why did we need I still don't understand. We're 6 chapters in now. We've waited a long time for this. I don't see why we needed Hush 2. And I was really, really, oh my God, was I hoping that this would finally be it. This is it, right? I have some sad news for you, friends. This isn't the end. They're going to continue this. There's going to be Hush 2 Part 2 now, okay? Did we need it? Do we want it? I don't know. I don't really care for it. I don't know when they're going to bring it here, but I don't feel a story at all here. It feels like Batman has secluded himself from his Bat family and is now teaming up with all of his villains to fight Hush. It doesn't make any sense to me. Why is Batman fighting Nightwing and Batgirl and everything? Like, this goes against the very fabric of what Batman is. He's going after the people that he's mentored and trained to fight, the people that look up to him. That's not very heroic. This is very much kind of like what I was talking about with Peter Parker not being a likable person anymore, and thus I can't really relate to him, and I don't like Spider-Man. You know, if Peter Parker can't balance being Peter Parker with being Spider-Man, he's got to give up one of those identities, and he really should give up being Spider-Man. He needs to be a better Peter Parker before he can be a better Spider-Man. So I kind of feel like we've lost a sense of who Batman is. I don't feel like Jeff Loeb is really inspired here. I really don't. It's great to see Jim Lee doing artwork. I love Jim Lee's artwork. That is not the thing that I'm going to say is the problem with this book at all. But it feels like they were all kind of brought together to do this thing. But do they really want to do this thing, or are they just doing this thing? You know, like when we read the original Hush was like, that was inspiring. That grabbed you by the throat. You're like, give me more. Those books mattered. This has been really disappointing, honestly. I hate to say it. You know, like I expected more out of this. In comparison to the ongoing Batman series right now, this just doesn't work. You know, it's not doing its thing. 2 out of 5 for it. I don't know if they're doing it for the money. I'm sure they are. I'm sure they're getting paid and all this stuff, but like, could it be that they just want to do it? You know, like, are they really doing something that we want to see though? That's the question. You know, I feel like Jim Lee wants to draw Batman. He clearly showing that he's wanting to draw Batman. He's dealing with health issues and he's still making it happen. But is Jeff Loeb inspired to do this? Is the rest of the team who's working on this, are they inspired to do this? Or have they aged out? And is this the best work that they can do at this very moment? Let's go back to October 2025 when Jim Lee, stated that DC Comics would never be using AI to produce comics. A very bold statement. And one of the things he said was part of the process is how human it is. Well, this is a very human book. For better or worse, it's a human book. And, but it just feels phoned in. The story just, forget about it. The artwork, it's Jim Lee, and he worked really hard on this. You can see he worked really hard on this. So I don't think Jim Lee phoned it in. I think Jeff Loeb phoned it in. I don't think Jeff Loeb really had a story to tell here. I think he probably was like, okay, we'll do this. Oh, let's just throw in a bunch of random characters, yeah, you'll have to wait a little while. Yi Sun-shin's definitely more for a mature audience. Definitely don't give it to your grandson until you feel like he can view all the stuff. But again, yeah, artwork in this book, fantastic. Story wise, just feel like we could have gone a little deeper here. Next book we got here is Infernal Hulk, and oh my god, it's my favorite character on the cover, Magic. I really hate Magic. Just so you guys know, I do not like this character at all. It's like, what's her mutant power? She's got a big sword. That's her mutant power? Really? I don't care about Magic at all. Magic is like every fanboy's like, pipe dream. That's how I feel about her. I don't care about this character. But this book has somehow managed to drag me back into the world of X-Men because the Hulk is trying to kidnap a mutant and he needs to further his thing. And if you guys don't know, if you haven't been following Infernal Hulk is not Bruce Banner, but a monster that has taken over the Hulk's body and now is causing all this harm throughout the Marvel Universe, and no one can stop Infernal Hulk. Not even the X-Men. Even Magneto tries to stop him and just can't. This is a great fucking series. This is so good. I love Infernal Hulk. I'm giving this a 4 out of 5 or 4.5 out of 5 today. This was a damn near perfect series. Love Nick Klein's artwork. He's not the artist on this book though. It's Gorham who fills in for him on every other issue. But Gorham does a good job. Adam Gorham. Gorham does a good job of maintaining the feel and presence of the book, so it's not immersion breaking. Like, you're not going from one rendered style to something more loose. He kind of sticks with what Nick Klein has established, and that's good. And bad news, sports fans, Magic really doesn't show up here, so fuck you. You're not going to see your Magic. I'm not having sword envy with Magic. I just think Magic is a very uninspired character. I feel like she's just another mutant character like that. She doesn't even fit the X-Men for me. Like, what does she do? She carries this big sword. What does she do with this sword? I have never seen her do anything with the sword other than carry it around, and that's it. And I've read plenty of books where she's in them, and I'm very uninspired by this character. Even the ultimate version of her is uninspired. What's up, Zach? How you doing? Infernal Hulk is great. This is good. But if you're going to read Infernal Hulk, you have to read the series that came before it, Incredible Hulk by Philip Kennedy Johnson and Nick Klein, which builds up to the Infernal Hulk. But this is a good series. And Ron, if you're interested, I do have Infernal Hulk #1 for sale. So, you can let me know next time I do a live sale. You're welcome to come and hang out. But yes, great book. Definitely get this. And they're ending with issue 10. So we're getting to the climax here. And this is doing everything right, as opposed to that Batman series, or opposed to things that are just kind of dragging on for no good reason. I feel like we're building up to something here. This is going to, every issue, it's like it's bringing us closer and closer to a conclusion that, like, we really want to see here. So this is one of those books that I'm like, this is fantastic. Really, really good series. Next up, one of my favorite comics that's coming out right now, Superman. And right now, Superboy Prime is running this book because ever since the events of DCKO, to and from Limbo, that's a mutant power. I don't buy it. Like, I just don't buy it. She's just such an uninspired character. I don't. Isn't she like Colossus's sister too? It's just like I'm just going to bed thinking about that. I mean, if you're a fan of magic, I'm happy for you. Like, I have a thing for Asian chicks. Okay, so if you have a thing for chicks with big swords, ain't magic, I'm not going to judge you for that. It's just not my thing. It's not my thing. And that's awesome, man. Ron, I'm so glad. That's really awesome. And to know that I was someone that you went out of your way to see, along with someone as big as Dan Jurgens, that really means a lot. So thank you. It was such a pleasure meeting you too. Oh, she was in the New Mutants movie? She made you curious, huh? You want to see her sword? Hey. Well, I don't know. I just haven't followed the character. I'm being an asshole on this show, okay? Like, when I say the things I say, I'm speaking off the cuff here. Like, I come across these books, I do sell them. I'm not trying to make you guys feel ashamed for liking these characters. I'm just stating my off the cuff opinion in the moment, which could change at any moment. Anna Taylor-Joy, oh my God, she's so hot. Oh my God. Yeah. This is me, guys. It's 10:42 in Denver right now. And like, sword envy. Definitely sword envy. And Anya Taylor-Joy, just get a snapshot of that. Post that on your Facebook profile pic of me, just like, looking all creepy. Actually, I'm divorced, Ron. Happily divorced. So I don't have a wife right now. I can look at all the chicks I want. I can, go online and search up Anya Taylor-Joy nudie pics. Anya Taylor-Joy holding my sword. Sword envy. All right, this is bad. I'm gonna get myself canceled on my own channel. This is like gonna actually, like, Jay is gonna have to like come in and cancel me. Yeah, I gave her 2 kids, and then I was like, peace out. No. All right, that's not what happened. We're not airing dirty laundry on this show. Instead, we're going to talk about Superman. This is my favorite series right now. Again, we got Dan Mora, Josh Williamson here. Superman starts dating this Mia Malkova. Oh, yeah, totally. She's totally an Anya Taylor-Joy toy. Right, stop. Why are we talking about porn stars now? We're supposed to be mukbang reviewing. We're not mukbang porn starring. Okay? We're not banging porn stars on this show. No banging porn stars, okay? It's bad. No, not doing that. All right. Superman number 38. So Superboy Prime has taken over for Clark Kent, who's disappeared. He works at a comic shop. He's breaking the fourth wall constantly. And in this book, there's a bunch of spelling errors that are done intentionally because he's fucked up by a magic spell. And there's a really cool layout in this book. And it's really awesome. And if you're not reading Superman by Josh Williamson, who's currently writing Iron Man, and Dan Mora, who's by far the greatest artist ever, you're missing out, because a really awesome villain shows up in here. One of my favorite villains. Manchester Black comes back in this issue. So definitely pick this up. This one is one for the books. Loved Superman. This is going to get a 5 out of 5 for me. Superman 38. I never have been as much of a fan of Superman books as I am right now. This is really, really good. Such good stuff. Josh Williamson and Dan Mora, like, this is a dream team. This is a dream team right here. And Josh Williamson's also writing Iron Man, and he's made Iron Man the best book out there. Last book of the week. One of my favorite titles that's hitting the stands right now, Detective Comics. We're on issue 1109. Can you believe that? Tom Taylor and Mike Janin are doing it. This is a great series. Absolutely love this. This is part 3 of a run called Flight, where Batman teams up with Green Arrow and Black Canary to solve the murder of a hero who died a while ago. And who died recently, but that the 3 of them mentored back in the day because he was kind of like a fisticuff type hero. And some really great action sequences in this book. Mike Janin's a great artist, or Mikkel Janin. And we're starting to uncover more about this mystery of, who's involved with the death of this character. It's a good book. Oh man, I don't know. Has Josh Williamson written Batman? I mean, he's done so much stuff. Honestly, get Josh Williamson on Spider-Man. That I want to see. Or Philip Kennedy Johnson. Put him on Spider-Man. These guys know what they're doing. Anyway, Detective Comics. We're going to give this a 4.5 out of 5. It's part 3 of the story. I don't want to ruin too much for you, but again, this latest run is a team-up story between Green Arrow, Black Canary, and Batman solving the murder of someone they mentored a long time ago. All right, I have reviewed all these books. This weekend, when I am at Fan Expo Denver, I will be hunting for 2 books: Daredevil number 162 and 166. Because after I get those 2 books, I will have completed getting my entire run of Frank Miller's Daredevil. From there, I will be going in and reading all these books, and then we're gonna review them at some point. I'm gonna do like a whole special where I talk about his entire run on Daredevil. So yeah, we're doing new reviews right now, but every once in a while we're going to do something bigger. And I'm sorry I'm yawning right now. I'm really tired. It's been an excruciatingly long day, but I want to thank you guys because I was expecting no one to come on tonight, but we had a lot of people drop in tonight. I really, really appreciate it. I will be at Fan Expo Denver all weekend at Artist Alley. Artist Premiere Booth 1353 with Mr. Vaughn Coleman, who's going to be splitting the space with me. And we're going to be selling books and hopefully, kick some butt and get some people walking off that convention floor with their stuff so that they can come home and they can do their mukbang reviews and be like, Onrie'S book was the best book I ever read. Actually, there's a misprint in one of his books. What an idiot. And I'll be like, shut up, don't make fun of me. Oh, mercy. Well, if you can't laugh at yourself, then laugh at other people. Okay, but first push them in the mud. Yes, that was a huge stack. Obviously, you don't have an addiction to comic book creators like me on YouTube. Otherwise, you have no time to read. Yes, I make time to read. And I hope you guys make time to read. Some great comics out there. And I'm always going to be hunting them and letting you guys know what my thoughts are. And then I'll be selling them too. Next week, I'll be back on my live stream sales show, Kicking It with Onrie, on Tuesday night. So I don't know what time we're going to do it yet. I'm have to figure it out. I have to first get through this weekend. So wish me luck. I will see you guys later. Love you guys. No one can mukbang like Onrie. This is very true. Thank you. Thank you all for coming tonight. I appreciate it. Love you guys. Have a great rest of your week. I will be reporting to you guys from the front lines of Comic-Con. I'll see you guys later. Have a good night.